Today I'm here with Ali from MommyCast Latina and Francine Bagli, who is a neonatal intensive care unit nurse from the Children's National Medical Center in Washington, D.C. We're going to be talking about how to bathe your new baby. Welcome to MommyCast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about what are the first things we need to do when you bathe your baby.
The first thing we have to do is gather all of our supplies. So we need to make sure that we have our towels and our supplies, or shampoo, things like that, and our lotion for later. And then we have to prepare the baby. So it all depends on what age your baby is. If this is a newborn baby with the cord still attached, the umbilicus, we will not immerse the baby in the water. Because bacteria could certainly enter into the baby through the cord.
Right.
That's the thing that we're trying to prevent here.
Okay.
So the first thing you have to do is prepare your baby. So you want to make sure that the baby, we remove the diaper. And if the baby is soiled, we would clean the baby.
Clean the baby.
Okay. So we take off the diaper.
So what happens if you're in the middle of a bath and the baby just poops or pees? Do you need to change the water?
Yes,
again?
you need to do that.
Right.
Okay, so you need a little damage control.
I have to say that
Because that happens.
an anatomically correct doll.
And they will pee.
It's a boy, and because I had two boys, I always did this first because you always have the fountain.
And
Right?
they usually spray themselves in the
Yeah,
face, which
right.
makes them
So you
very
bathe them
unhappy.
with a little towel on top.
You always just keep that just in
Right.
case. Okay, so for a sponge bath, if they have the umbilical cord still attached,
Correct.
what would you do?
Okay, so we'll cover our little baby, and then we'll use a washcloth to, first you want to start at the face and the head, okay? So we would apply water to the head, and be careful not to get it in the eyes, okay? And then we could take some shampoo and wash the baby's head.
Okay.
We should use cotton balls, if you have them, to clean the baby's eyes. And necessarily, you don't need to wash your baby's face with soap. All you need to do is just wash the baby's face with water. It's
Okay, and
fine.
with the cotton balls, you're just very gently.
Yes, you take the damp cotton ball and just wipe it from the inside canthus to the out.
Okay.
So inside to out, inside and out.
Okay.
So now we've washed the head and we washed the face. And then we would just take this with a little bit of soap and start here and work down under here, all the way down the
I
legs.
always find that one of the most important parts
Oh,
is
yes,
right
under
here
there.
And behind the ears, too.
Because they have no
they get
neck.
little milk in those little folds right there.
And they have no neck. And the last area you want to do is the bottom part.
Down there.
Yes,
The part down there.
the perineal area down there.
uh-huh.
So you can certainly lift the baby up like this and wipe down here as your final. Okay? And then if you had another washcloth, you could certainly rinse the baby
Okay.
to get all the soap off.
Okay.
Alrighty? And then you would take your baby and transfer him to a towel, a hooded towel.
I love the hooded
Yeah.
towels. These towels here that have the little hood on them so their head can stay warm
Yes.
as well, and you wrap them in there. And I always had the towel ready to go, so they'd
Yes.
be on the counter right here. So you just kind of go, and it's there.
Exactly,
So
I
you're
do
not
the
having to
same.
walk all over the house with a
No.
wet baby trying to find
Right.
your towel. Okay, so now let's walk through,
A normal bath.
actually a normal bath. Yeah.
Okay. So we have this nice tub. With, where I would imagine we would put this tub in maybe a sink or on a countertop. You
Right?
could certainly put it in a bathtub, although that would be really hard on your back. So if
Right.
it's at a level where it's easier,
The
would
tub
be
that
good.
I had actually had a little slit right through the middle that fit on the
Double sinks?
for a double sink, and that was really handy too.
Right.
And then you could just fill it. We've got a little makeshift faucet here, which has a little cover on it, which I think is good because then you don't have a spray of water kind of going. It's just kind of a little trickle.
Right. It also helps when the kid
Right.
grows. And my daughter is getting into the toddler age, and they move a lot. So if they bump their head, that
Yeah,
protects.
it does protect. And it's also kind of, you can put soap in here and it can go, so it's like kind of one-stop shopping. You don't have to grab a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, so you've got the faucet and you actually fill it. How full do you fill your bath?
You can immerse this baby now.
Okay.
So, but I don't think we would need to do that because this baby's elevated off of here. But if you didn't, the tub that I had like a little thing, a little resting area, and then it went down.
Right.
So the baby kind of rested like this.
And so the water would come up to about here.
Yeah, I could put it
so-
here.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So
Okay.
this is water is going to be lower here, and so we'll have to dip into here and everything.
So you do you fill the water so the water is up to here.
You could,
Right.
with this situation,
That's
you could.
another question I always had because I didn't want her to get cold, and I guess like
Yes.
the warm water would help with
Exactly.
that. And my
You know-
husband and I would always argue, no, it's this way, no, it's that way. So okay,
If you're
so I
sitting in
won.
warm water, the chances of getting cold are lower. If
right.
you're sitting
Right.
completely exposed and having water put on you, you're definitely going to have some heat evaporation.
Right.
So, so that brings a good point about how warm we want the water.
Right.
Theoretically, I think it's less than 120. You don't want to put the water too warm. They don't really like it really warm. Like some people like to take a nice and warm bath. They like it a little bit cooler than that.
Okay.
So
not how I like it.
exactly.
And we used
exactly.
to use thermometers, right?
Yeah.
For that. I mean,
They didn't have them when I was doing it.
my hands are always cold, so when I feel the water, I mean, it feels, it may feel hotter to me than what it actually is. So these things kind of help. And this one is fun because Isabella plays with it a lot.
So the bathing technique is the same. We would start at the head as like before, and do the face the same way. No soap on the face, cotton balls for the eyes, and then and start bathing the baby, and then rinse.
When do you use soap on the face? Do you ever use soap on the
Yeah, you can start. I would say I like to think of it as when the baby's face is going to get really soiled, i.e., eating food.
Right.
Okay, and it's also important to remember that these babies, they don't really do very much, so they're not getting dirty or
Right,
smelly, so they don't need to be bathed
And that's
every
another question.
day.
Yeah, how often do you bathe them?
I recommend every other,
Every other day.
Okay.
yes, because that way they don't get
Unless
into dry
they had
skin.
massive diaper blowout or something.
Exactly.
Right.
You know, you got to use a little bit of
Right, in the
judgment.
bath. Right.
When baby wipes won't do it, they need a bath.
But I know there are other things, if you have your baby ends up with some eczema or dry skin, what do you recommend for that?
After your baby's done getting his bath, we should always lotion your baby.
Okay.
Because they have very sensitive skin. They're
Yeah.
prone to drying out. I would use a very good moisturizer for these babies.
And there's good lotions, like some lotions like shampoo, some good lotions like
Moisturizing.
Aquaphor. I use that sometimes too, and it really helps.
Right. If you use a moisturizing shampoo and then you moisturize your baby after the bath, that will certainly help.
Okay, so just to recap, the most important thing is that you are prepared before you put
Correct.
your baby in the bath. The last thing you never leave your baby alone.
No.
Ever.
Doesn't matter how young. You'd never ever leave your baby alone. And you want, warm water, but not
Too hot.
Too hot.
And that will also
Probably cooler
exacerbate
than what you
eczema.
would like. Oh, will it really? Okay, so that's interesting. And then you start at the top, work your way down.
Correct.
Cotton balls for the eyes. And then if you have any sort of eczema or,
Skin
cradle
issues.
cap, skin issues, you address those either with the dandruff shampoo or after the baby is out
Correct.
with
Lotion.
the lotions and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Francine, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been great
no
information.
problem.
It's been
Thank you.
great having you.
Thank you for
Thank
having me. Thank you.
For more on how to bathe your baby, you can find it at MommyCast.com.
And MommyCastLatina.com.
Today we're speaking with Francine Bagli, who is a neonatal intensive care unit nurse from the Children's National Medical Center in Washington, D.C. Francine is going to walk us through how to bathe your baby. Welcome to MommyCast.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
So tell us, what are the first things that we need to do? I mean, I know there's a lot here.
You forgot about me.
What?
Introduce Allie.
Oh, Allie! Oh, that person over there, by the way, is Allie. Sorry.
That's the same thing as me, Allie.
I'm sorry.
I know, it's a lot to memorize.
I was kind of like,
I was so happy I got through neonatal intensive care unit nurse.
I'm sorry.